The founding master said, in the same way that tests are given in schools at the end of each academic term or year. So do practitioners of the way have various tests involving favorable and adverse conditions as their Dharma rank rises, or as they are about to ascend to the stage of the Buddhahood, and the Buddha was about to attain the way? It is said that he was attacked by Pepian, the king of the Maras, who was leading the 84,000 minions of Mara. Practitioners in later generations have had similar experiences. As I now look at you, there are some among you who are being tested and are waging an uphill battle. Others who are being defeated and losing their chance at eternal life, and others still who have passed the test with good results, now having a boundless road ahead. I hope each of you will examine your own level and make sure that you do not fail the test. The founding master said, people who are learning a skill must have their skills evaluated by their teachers. People who are engaged in the study of the way must have the rightness or wrongness of their acts assessed by their teachers. If those who are learning a skill do not have that skill evaluated, their skill will not be a precise skill. If those who are engaged in the study of the way do not have the rightness or wrongness of their acts assessed, their practice will not be a practice that focuses on what is essential. Thus, the reason I constantly evaluate the quality of your practice in both human affairs and universal principles is because I wish to help you avoid the convoluted path and walk the straight path. If you are uncomfortable about receiving evaluations from me, or are discontented with being told about the quality of your practice, what was your original intent in coming to me to learn? And how do you expect to proceed with your practice? And not only from me, but appropriate advice and criticism from anyone are precious guidelines for the road ahead. If you harbor resentment toward a benefactor who has helped to open up the road ahead for you, then wouldn't you be committing ingratitude? Thus, you must be thankful to me, or to anyone in this world who evaluates you as doing either well or poorly, and simultaneously exert even more effort to attain the real essentials of practice. The founding master said, practitioners of the way who avoid all sensory conditions and discipline their mind. Quiet places are like a person trying to catch fish who stays away from water. What effect will it have? Thus, if we are to cultivate the true way, we must learn to discipline our minds amid thousands of sensory conditions. Only in this wise can one gain the great strength that is not disturbed by such conditions. If one disciplines one's mind only in places that are free from all sensory conditions, then on coming out into such conditions, one's mind will be instantly disturbed, just as a mushroom grown in shade will wilt when exposed to the sun. Thus, it is said in the Vimalakatindar, a bodhisattva's mind is settled even in a noisy place. A non-Buddhist's mind is disturbed even in a quiet place. This means that practice depends on the mind's finding its suitable measure, not on external sensory conditions. The founding master said to several of his disciples, you should indeed apply the Buddha Dharma and try to enhance your everyday life. You should not be so attached to the Buddha Dharma that you waste your life. In sum, the Buddha Dharma was originally the great way for delivering the world. But if some people instead renounce the world, enter the mountains to engage only in such practices as reciting the Buddha's name, reading scriptures, or sitting in meditation, and waste their whole lives, finally leaving no real marks of having delivered anyone, then such people have been overly attached to the Buddha Dharma. Not only do they achieve little success for themselves, but they offer no benefit to the world. The founding master addressed the congregation. The reason people want to know the way is to be able to apply it when needed. If you don't know how to apply it in situations where it is necessary, you might as well not know it at all. What benefit would there be? He then held up the fan he was holding and said, I may have this fan, but if I don't know to use it when it's hot, what value will there be in having a fan? The founding master said, practitioners, externally, must be able to sever all attachments to causes and conditions, and internally, to drop even the attachment to the one mind. Attachment to the one mind is called the bondage to Dharma. If people end up falling into the bondage to Dharma, then even in one blink of the eye or in the smallest of gestures, they will always be hampered by the Dharma and will never gain freedom. How will they be able to enter the great gate to liberation? Therefore, practitioners, in cultivating their nature, should do so in a way that is natural and let it operate dynamically. When the six sense organs are free from activity they need only to remove distracted thoughts. When they are involved in activity, they need only to remove what is wrong. Why would we be attached to the one mind while in the midst of the one mind? To give a simile, we say a person watches children. Well, if he or she lets the infant come, go, play to its heart's content, and makes its body and mind livelier, straining the infant only when it wanders toward a dangerous place or taking away a dangerous object that the infant has picked up. But if the babysitter, in the name of watching the infant, holds it and sits tight all day long without moving at all, then the infant will obviously suffer from the constraint. The fault of being attached to the one mind is no different from this. The founding master said to Kim Nam-chin, "The other day I saw a man riding an ox. It seemed, though, that the man wasn't leading the ox, but that the ox was leading the man. If the ox went into a thorny patch or a ditch, the man was led into a thorny patch or a ditch. If the ox went up into the hills or out into the fields, the man was led up into the hills or out into the fields. Pitching forward and backwards, the man's clothes were ripped and his body injured. It was painful to watch. After watching this sight, I suggested that if he held the ox's reins tightly, and by leading it only on the road, kept it from going wherever it wanted, then wouldn't he be able to avoid such a mishap?" The man replied that that would be wonderful, but said that when he got the ox, he did not know how to train it and let the ox have complete control. Now, as the man aged, the ox was getting wilder, and he no longer had the ability to control it. The founding master continued, "I saw you, Nam-chan, coming here today, riding on an ox. Where is your ox now?" Nam-chan replied, "I am still riding on its back." The founding master asked, "What does your ox look like?" Nam-chan replied, "It is nearly 1 fathom tall. Yellow in color, wears hempen shoes, and has salt and pepper whiskers." The founding master laughed and said, "You know the looks of your ox pretty well. Then, does your ox do whatever you tell it to do, or are you, too, led around by it?" Nam-chan said, "It usually does what I tell it. If the ox is lazy in doing what I want it to do, then I yell at it to make sure it does what it's supposed to do. And if it tries to do the wrong thing, I yell at it to stop," the founding master said. "Since you have already discovered your ox and know how to train it, and since it usually listens to what you tell it to do, you must work hard to train it further so that you may do all kinds of things with complete freedom." The founding master said to the congregation at a meditation hall, "Intensive meditation training is like training an ox. When one behaves in the world without moral discipline and in what one sees, hears, and thinks, does only as one pleases, deviating from the righteous path of humanity, one is like an unweaned and undisciplined calf that runs around just as it pleases. After practitioners leave their homes and enter a meditation hall, they often frustrate their teachers because they find it hard to sever their old habits when they are trying to keep all the regulations and precepts. Many delusive states of mind and distracting thoughts arise in their minds, and they are unable to settle their minds in their practice or in their work. They are then just like a weanling calf who is tied to a pole, crying for its mother and writhing in agony. When practitioners follow all the required courses of training regularly every day, gradually start to comprehend the import of what they are taught, and little by little begin to eliminate delusive states of mind and distracting thoughts, finding joy in progressively understanding what one did not know before about human affairs and universal principles, they are then like an ox who is not yet fully trained, but is gradually becoming accustomed to its situation. When one does not go astray in interpretations of the doctrine or in practice, and thereby gradually matures the powers of cultivation, inquiry, and choice. And one also benefits the public everywhere one goes by offering up one's spirit, body, and material possessions. Then one is like a well-trained ox that fulfills all its tasks well, bringing much profit to its owner wherever it goes. In this wise, the purpose of a farmer training an ox is to use it well when plowing the field. And our purpose in putting you through these intensive sessions in the meditation hall is to enable you to utilize well what you have learned here when you are active in human society. Thus, it is my wish that by not wasting your time, but by diligently practicing and taking full advantage of this opportunity, and by serving the whole world with your well-trained ox of the mind, you become glorious apostles who will deliver sentient beings and cure the world.